Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Week 6 in the books, and things were not looking much better from week 5 into week 6. Unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and give some spoilers away. This was not a good week, but like I said last week, let's go ahead and get the negative. Let's get the losses. Let's get the injuries. Let's get everything that's going to be subpar, everything that's going to hurt us out of the way early, so that come semifinals or finals, we are able to pick up those ships and be able to work as efficiently and as effectively as possible with who we have on our team. Obviously, we know you are not going to win the league in the first 5 weeks or so. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not great, but there's still a long season left. So we have to focus on the positive. There's not going to be a whole lot of positive to talk about, but there's some. So let's focus on that. First thing we're going to talk about, the Cheese Weasels. Now, this week I'm in 7th place with 92 points. Now, this is a far cry from the 2nd place 117 points I had just a few weeks ago. But again, this is a long season, and it's going to sound like I'm making excuses, but we have a lot of people on the IL. Now, I know everyone has a lot of people on the IL. All of my teams have people on the IL. ILs are filled up. It is what it is. But that's something you have to take into account. That is why some of our teams are performing so poorly, because some of our better players, some of the people we drafted high, some of the people we drafted with expectations are not meeting them. They're not able to because they're hurt. So again, not too terribly worried about it. Once we get into week 10, week 15, that's when we're going to start worrying about it, because we are more than halfway through and we only have a limited number of weeks left. But 6 weeks in, not the worst thing in the world. We do have time to improve, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So this week, Maikel Garcia was the main contributor on offense. He had 7 hits. He had no RBIs in those 7 hits. Some of the other guys drew walks. They had some extra base hits. They had some runs and hits and so on and so forth. But the hitters really going cold. Pitching-wise, top performer Tyler Glasnow, 10 strikeouts and a win. Thank you, sir, for being consistent. Now, some of the guys that didn't perform at all for us, well, pretty much everyone else. We had some blown saves. We had some guys getting roughed up in their outings. We had guys not even hit the ball, MJ Melendez. So, unfortunately, we did have to make some roster moves that included some guys we were super excited about. Now, we were able to pick up JP Sears, Erick Fedde. We also looked at grabbing Elias Diaz and also Luis Severino. So these guys had good matchups. They were performing at a high enough level. I thought they could jumpstart our wins, jumpstart our strikeouts, or at least help us add to our lead, because we are leading in wins, we're leading in strikeouts. We do need to lower ERA and WHIP, but it's going to come with territory. You have more wins, so you're going to have likely a higher ERA and a higher WHIP because you have guys going longer, and sometimes you're going to have some blowups. So with wins, high ERA, high WHIP, we're probably going to have more losses, and we're middle of the pack, closer to leading the league in losses, unfortunately. But in any case, the drops did include Erick Fedde and also Amed Rosario. That was a tough one, but we had to cut bait with him. Also, MJ Melendez, because he has gone ice cold. The only contribution he has made to our team in the last probably 2 weeks is a stolen base. That was it. And honestly, I don't even think I started him when he had his stolen base. And the final drop was JP Sears to make room for another pitcher. Overall, we need patience and we need health for this team. Again, I'm not worried about it. We are 6 weeks in, and I'm sitting, again, at 7th place with 92 points. We saw how quickly we ascended into the rankings. We also see how quickly we can drop. I am not too far off in these categories. Again, I'm still leading in several of the pitching categories. We're close in the saves. We're close in the holds. We don't have any complete games or shutouts. But the offense is really where we're going to need to pick it up. And we have some guys who are off to slow starts. Yordan Alvarez. Come on, man. You are super slow. But in any case, that is one reason. We also have some guys on the IL, both pitching and hitting. So again, not terribly worried about it, but it's going to be nice to see these guys start to ramp up a bit. Now we're going to move to Fantrax League and talk about the Funky Junky Joker Monkeys. This week, It was a situation where I did not start the people I needed to start. That's just it. I looked at matchups and I thought, yeah, that's a great matchup. Only for the guy to get rocked. Only for the team, the White Sox, with less than 10 wins, to absolutely obliterate my pitcher. So that is unfortunate. But in any case, it's going to come with the territory. Get the losses out early, right? Unfortunately, we lost 491 to 413. Now, that sounds a lot worse than it really was. I'm going to get to the breakdown in just a second. But our top performer was Jack Flaherty, who had 36 points. Pablo Lopez had 28 points. Then we had 4 guys who had 26 points. Nate Lowe, Joe Musgrove, Ronald Acuna, and Jose Altuve. Now, I did start a few of these guys, and I'm going to go over their points. Now, I'm going to go over the guys I sat or dropped and tell you their points. So, let's have fun with this, reminiscing on my mistakes. Now, some of these guys did have 2 starts, and I would sit them 1 start and play them for the other start. So, prime example, Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller had a matchup earlier in the week against the Braves. He did great in that start. Second start of the week, it was against the Houston Astros. They're performing at a very low level, but unfortunately, they're still the Astros. They're still dangerous, and he got me 9 points. Quinn Priester going against the Angels without Shohei Ohtani, without Luis Rengifo, without Mike Trout. They have Taylor Ward. That is their top performer. And Nolan Schanuel. Those 2 guys, main guys, not exactly going to kill it. He only got me 8 points. Now, we're going to get to the guys who had such good matchups and screwed it up. Steven Matz. You were going against the White Sox. They're sneaky good. Okay, I'm going to continue to say they're sneaky good because they always burn me. Steven Matz had 1 point. Now, granted, it comes out later. He had a bulging disc or herniated disc or something like that in his back. Okay, yeah, that's serious. But come on, man. I thought you had a great matchup. Next person, Christopher Sanchez. Woo-hoo-hoo. Christopher Sanchez, I thought had a really, really good matchup. He got me 3 points. Come on, man. Come on, man. And probably the one I'm most disappointed in, Simeon Woods Richardson. I thought he had a pretty decent matchup, and he got me 5 points. Woods Richardson also had a second start later in the week. Yeah, so we talked about Bryce Miller. He got 28 points in that start against Atlanta. I didn't start him because why would you start someone against Atlanta? They're so good. They have this guy named Ronald Acuna. Yeah, he's pretty good. Ozzie Albies, he's pretty good too. Marcell Ozuna, yeah, he's pretty good too. Like, they have one of the best lineups in all of baseball, only opposed to the Dodgers, really, in my opinion. So, why would I start Bryce Miller? I wouldn't. And I didn't. So, yeah, he got 28 points. Another guy going against a good quality, high-octane offense, Andrew Abbott. Why would you start Andrew Abbott, who's not sexy? He's not terrible. He's not sexy. He's not a frontline starter. Plays for the Reds. He's not going to have a ton of run support. He got me 18 points. Now, some guys that I dropped. Miles Mikolas. I thought, dude, you are giving up way too many walks. Actually, not too many walks. Way too many runs. He got 13 points. Trevor Williams. I was like, hey, man, like, your luck has run out. He got me 12 points. And then finally, this is probably the one that hurt the most, Cole Irvin. Now, Cole Irvin was going against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They have a pretty good lineup. Eugenio Suarez. Yes, I know he's hitting like 220, but man's got some power. Ketel Marte. Christian Walker. Corbin Carroll, even though he's cold, he's heating up a little bit. But that's a good lineup. And that's just like the top 4. That's not even counting some of the guys below. Lourdes Gurriel, even though he's cold as well. But those guys can hit. Yeah, he got 22 points. So, let's do some math real quick. Now, the first 5 guys I talked about, Bryce Miller in his start against Houston, Simeon Woods Richardson, Chris Sanchez, Priester, and Matz, they got 26 points combined in all of their starts. The other 5 guys I talked about, again, Bryce Miller, Abbott, Cole Irvin, talked about Miles Mikolas, and Trevor Williams, they got, 94 points in theirs. So, even if you were to subtract, I would still only have 480. So, that's still a loss. 491 to 480. I get that. Point being, I still would have been close. I would have been closer. It felt better for myself. Not losing by 70 points. In any case, the starts screwed me up. I'm going to say that. Star Screwed Man. Now, we did do quite a bit of mixing and matching with the ads drops to the point where I think Wednesday or Thursday ad ran out of them. We only had 6. But I was like, crap. I need more people. So, the ads and drops are as follows. JP Sears, Miles Mikolas, Steven Matz, Quinn Priester, Ryan Yarbrough, and Mitch White. Thought Mitch White was going to get more of a bulk role, kind of like Ryan Yarbrough, but he didn't, so that's unfortunate. And the drops included Steven Matz, Quinn Priester, Miles Mikolas, also Nolan Jones, because he wasn't doing anything for me, and he won the IL. And then we talked about Trevor Williams and Cole Irvin. So that's a very unfortunate. Overall, still sitting at 4-2. Not the record I wanted, but it is what it is. Get the losses out early. And just like last year, let's go on our 11 or 13 game win streak. Let's do that. Let's get back into the thick of things and come back with a ship, you know? And next, we're going to move to the Kent Murphy Dingers. This is probably one of my favorite leagues, but also one of the most infuriating because I know most everyone in the league, and I hate when I make a bad start or they get a lucky hit or a lucky stolen base, whatever it may be, and that causes me to lose. It's like, oh, I had it. Kind of like last week when I had the win and then my pitchers decided to go, oh, we have diarrhea and we're in bed, so we're going to crap the bed. See what I did there? I put them together. Now, even though I did lose 4 categories to 6 categories, and I did fall to a 2-3 record, there were some bright spots. Jose Altuve stole 3 bases for me. Riley Green also hit 3 home runs for me. I had some superb results from my pitching. Mr. Jameson Taillon, who is one of my favorite pitchers and players in general, got a win, 8 strikeouts, sub-1 ERA, sub-1 whip. And also, Mr. Dean Kremer, who was one of the ads this week, along with Jameson Taillon, got me a win, 6 strikeouts, and a 0 ERA with a sub-1 whip. I think it was .33, so that was great. Now, the guys that didn't do well for me. Listen, Matt Olson and Jackson Trio. I know it's early in the season, but I need y'all to pick it up, okay? Trio, I need you to start hitting and getting some stolen bases. Matt Olson, I need you to start hitting and please just start hitting. But just get some home runs, man. You know, like, let's see if you can help me out there. Pitching wise, Jason Foley and Craig Kimbrell blew saves for me. Rough outings from Mitch Keller and Logan Webb. That's really tough. Not the best to see some of my high draft picks, to see some of my coveted keepers performing poorly, but again, let's get it out of the way early in the season so we don't have to worry about it later when we're chasing the ship. Now let's talk about some of the ads and drops. The ads this week were pretty pitcher dominant. Kyle Bradish, Dean Kremer, and Kyle Gibson, all current or former Orioles. And then Jake Irvin, Jameson Taillon, and Tanner Bibby, which were not current Orioles or former Orioles. The drops included Heston Kjerstad. That was tough, but he wasn't getting enough playing time. Kyle Gibson, because he didn't play at all. Albert Suarez, because he didn't have any good matchups and was moved to the bullpen. We also dropped Keaton Winn, Jake Irvin, Tanner Bibby, and Mitch Keller. Now, Mitch Keller struggled last week and then went on to throw a complete game shutout against the Angels this week. That was tough. That was tough to watch. But in any case, there's the ads and drops, sitting at 2-3, not ideal, but still early in the season. We're going to look to make better on those results this upcoming week, and I'm hoping we can. We'll switch to platforms now, talking about the ESPN leagues. First team, we're talking about the South Harmon Institute of Technology. Going into the weekend, I looked like I had this in the bag. Then the weekend hit. My players decided to not pitch well and not hit, so I ended up losing 7 categories to 9 categories to 2 categories. That's unfortunate. Leaving my record at 43, 45, and 20. So I technically wins and losses below 500, but with the ties, that puts me up to just over 500. But in any case, not the way I want to be over 500. But there were a few bright spots on this team. Francisco Lindor, Freddie Freeman, and Justin Turner all had at least 10 total bases. Justin Turner had 2 home runs for me, and Matt Olson had 5 walks. Pitching-wise, Tyler Glasnow had 10 strikeouts, so that was great. Now, having 5 walks does not admonish you from being on my poor performers list. Matt Olson, Ahmed Rosario, and Lars Nootbaar combined had 6 hits. They had 7 total bases and an average of 115. 6 hits and 52 at-bats. That's not going to cut it. The ads and drops were pretty pitcher dominant. The only player I added that was not a pitcher was Brent Rooker, and that looks like a good decision on my part going into this week. The pitchers included Bailey Falter, Aaron Savali, Andrew Kittredge, and Garrett Crotchet. I know it's crochet, but it's just fun to say crotchet. The drops include 2 position players, Heston Kjerstad and Lars Nootbaar, and the pitchers included Bailey Falter, Albert Suarez, and Matt Strahm. Pretty sure Matt Strahm ended up getting a win later in the week. That's unfortunate. From one cast league to another, we're moving to the Russell My Jim Jams team. This team fared much better than South Harmon Institute of Technology, as we were able to come up with a win 11 categories to 2 categories to 3 categories. Some of our top performers did include CJ Abrams, Jose Altuve, and Bryson Stott, each having at least 3 stolen bases. Brandon Nimmo had 4 extra base hits. Nimmo, along with Nate Lowe and Bryson Stott, had at least 4 walks each. John Gray and Bryce Miller both had at least 10 strikeouts, and Hector Neris had 3 saves for us. Similar to Matt Olson's 5 walks, Bryce Miller's 10 strikeouts do not admonish him from being on the poor performers list, as he did, along with Aaron Civale, give up 5 earned runs last week. It's not going to cut it. Now, between Lourdes Gurriel, Ke'Bryan Hayes, and MJ Melendez, they had 6 hits. That is definitely not going to do anything for my team if you're not getting hits. Come on, guys. Let's get to the adds and drops. We added 2 Oakland Athletics players, JP Sears and Abraham Toro. We also added John Gray and Ryan Yarbrough. And we cut bait with Albert Suarez, Kenta Maeda, MJ Melendez, and Yariel Rodriguez, who went on the IL. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Peach Creek Purgatory team. Last week, we caught our first L of the year. That's very disappointing. I had no intention of losing because we have a stacked team. We have lots of good pitchers. We have really great hitters. So I thought there's no way we're losing. Well, we did it again. Yep. And this week, when I tell you that the starts my pitchers had did not correlate with the starts that I sat, you were going to say, wow, dude, like, how did you decide that? Enough to cost me over 100 points. That's what happened. So we did end up losing 904 to 853. When I tell you, the guys that I started and their scores, and the guys that I sat or dropped, you might be sick for me. Now we're going to go over a list of 5 guys I started opposed to the 5 guys I could have or should have started. We're going to look at their points, and then we're going to see how I could have, should have won. So the top guy, Freddie Peralta, he had a 2-start week. One of his starts, he only got me 13 points. Not horrible, but definitely not good. Bailey Falter got me 12 points. Javier Assad in his first start of the week got me 11 points. Simeon Woods Richardson in his first start of the week got me 5 points. And Framber Valdez got me 3 points. Okay, so now let's go over the bottom of the 5 guys I sat. Andrew Haney, he scored 25 points. Cool. Javier Assad in his second start of the week scored 28 points. Kenta Maeda, who had gotten blown up in his previous start or previous 2 starts, he scored 32 points. Are you kidding me? 32 points. Ugh. Now, Taijuan Walker, in his second start off the IL, 33. That's not even the worst. The top scorer that I sat, Jameson Taillon, who had 40 points. The 5 I started accumulated 44 points. The 5 guys I sat accumulated 158 points. That is a 114 point swing. What is 853 plus 114? I'll tell you what it is. That's more than 904. That means I would have won. I should have won. That's frustrating. So, let's get it out of the way early, because I don't want to be making these stupid mistakes later in the year. Our top performer was Max Fried, who scored 62 points, followed by Riley Green with 56, and then Christian Walker with 53. Our poor performers included some of the pitchers I talked about, but then Shelby Miller got me -7 points. But in any case, the adds and drops for this week were pretty long, so I'm just going to read them off. We added Bailey Falter, Aaron Civale, Taijuan Walker, Nick Sandlin, Jose Leclerc, Abraham Toro, Andrew Kittredge, Brent Rooker, and Luis Ortiz. And we dropped Albert Suarez, Bailey Falter, Cole Irving, who had 34 points in his matchup with the Diamondbacks. Not happy about that drop. Mitch Garver, Gabe Spire, Tyler Alexander, Nick Sandlin, MJ Melendez, and Ryan Weathers. Not ideal. Dropped us to 4-2. Is it disappointing? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No, because there are still multiple weeks left, lots of year left. We're going to get back up. We have confidence in this team. Great hitting, great pitching. So let's get this Petrie Purgatory team into the playoffs. Well, first of all, to get on a win streak, let's get into the playoffs and let's get to the ship. Now we're talking about some of the guys that you either want to add or you at least want to look at coming off your IL this week. Walker Buehler, he's coming off the IL. Nick Pivetta coming off the IL. Christian Yelich coming off the IL. Those three guys right there should turn your entire season around, which is great. We also have some promise coming from the minors. Orelvis Martinez, this guy, good Lord, is doing nothing but hitting. Also, Paul Skeens will be pitching for the Pirates on Saturday. That's exciting. He probably won't be fully stretched out. I mean, he's hitting 60, 70 pitches. So if all goes well, 4 innings maybe. I mean, if he gets into trouble, maybe 3. But I see him pitching 4 innings. He is in one of my leagues. I'm going to activate him. I'm going to see what he can do for me, so I'm excited about that. Other guys, because Evan Phillips went on the IL, you want to look at Alex Vesia, you want to look at Daniel Hudson, you want to look at potentially Blake Trinan. Those 3 guys for the Dodgers. Oh, another guy coming off the IL, Paul Sewald. So get out of here, Kevin Ginkel. I'm excited about this upcoming week. I'm excited about this year moving forward. My teams are good. We have to make better decisions, and we have to get healthy. That's the most important thing. So let's hope that this health only continues to improve and not take more detours and falls and holding patterns. Max Scherzer, what is that even? But in any case, this is Jake Cake. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.